These are the things that I wish I knew at 19 years old. Now, this is something which is important because I come from an Indian background. So some of these things I feel like my parents were very, very strict on me doing as a teenager, whereas I saw other families not putting so much emphasis on their kids doing things outside of just studying. So my family, I'm very, very lucky. I had great parents, and they really encourage us to have extracurricular activities. But I would say if you don't have a hobby outside of studying right now, please find one. Find one because it will be your saving grace in moments of stress, in moments where you just want to stop studying and do something else. Please, please, please find a hobby outside of just reading a textbook and going on social media. Even if you don't have one now, try and brainstorm something and try and work on it. Nobody's born with a talent. We all work on it. We all, build those skills. So just because you are not Beyonce doesn't mean you can't become Beyonce by, doing some kind of singing lessons. But please pick up a hobby. It will make you so well-rounded. It will make you love your life in moments where school is becoming stressful, and you can pick it up, to de-stress. So the second thing I can also say is please choose your friends wisely. I know in this post-COVID world, it's difficult right now because I think a lot of us have kind of become a little introverted. We have become so accustomed to learning online. We are doing work from online. We basically don't have much interaction other than scrolling on social media, and we find that is our form of social interaction, but it's really not. So if you can, go hang out with your friends, choose them wisely, try and find friends that uplift you. Don't try and find the friends who are just taking and taking and taking from you, but not really doing anything in return. A friendship is a give and take. There will be some friends who will try and bring you down, or they'll say, you don't need to study right now, just come and have fun with me. And that's fine. They're trying to take you out of the studying phase because you might be doing it too much. But those friends who constantly just want to party and don't want to study at all are also a little bit dangerous to have. So try and find friends who have a good balance in their life. You do need friends to get through life. I cannot emphasize this enough. Dentistry is a very, very vigorous clinical program. Having friends that can walk you through that and be there for you in moments of reviewing your notes, or in moments where sometimes things don't go right clinically and you just need someone to listen to your problems and discuss things with, you need to have good friends. So please learn how to make good friends. If you don't have a good friend in your life and you can think of them at the top of your head right now, don't be afraid to just cut them off, and you'll find plenty more in your life, okay? The next thing is network and shadow as many professionals as you can. I cannot emphasize how lucky you guys are to be in this generation where social media is in the hands of almost all types of healthcare professionals. So back in my day, we didn't really have Instagram or TikTok or Twitter and all this jazz. So I would have to go from like random clinics in person and knock on their door and say, please, can you help me? Can you help a student? I just want to shadow, and I just want to see what your life is like. But nowadays, I get messages in my Instagram saying, can I come shadow you? When are you available? And it's not just me. There's like a ton of different professionals out there. And almost all of them are looking at their DMs, they're looking at their comments, and they don't mind talking to students, and they don't mind connecting with you guys anymore. So use that to your advantage. If you're just going to sit there and scroll just mindlessly on social media, you might as well use it to actually make genuine connections with healthcare professionals. Start off with just commenting on their videos or comment on their photos, kind of make that connection that way so they know that you're not a complete stranger. Then introduce yourselves through DM. And then just ask, hey, can I come shadow you? Or can I ask you a few questions? And I can guarantee you that probably 90% of them will say yes to you. So hit your shot, take your shot, whatever they say, whatever your generation says, take your shot. And even if you miss, it's okay. There's like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of healthcare professionals in your area that are on social media. So use that to your advantage. The next thing I can say is if your ultimate goal is to go to professional school, please, if you're in high school right now, or if you're in your first year of undergrad and you're thinking about going to professional school, please do not pick such a difficult undergrad program. I don't know why, but back in my day, I used to think if I picked the most prestigious, university and the program, that it would just help me get into dental school, because the admissions program of dental schools will look at my university name and degree. No, they don't care. They genuinely do not care. Unless, you want to go and do your undergrad at Harvard, maybe that will matter, but it doesn't matter if you go to Waterloo. It doesn't matter if you go to Laurier. It doesn't matter if you go to York. Like, absolutely does not matter. What matters is your GPA. So please do not put yourself in really big competitive programs that are heavy on content and very competitive, and even, I would say, test and exam wise, because it will mean that you will have to put in a lot of work. And sometimes I find the really competitive universities and programs, they have a bunch of students in there who are, I want to say, they're a little more to themselves. They don't want to share their knowledge. They don't want to share their resources. They want to work as individuals and not as a team. So it's hard, I think, as a student, to be in a really competitive environment where nobody really wants to help you, because that means you have no motivation to go and help others. So I found that the universities that were a little less competitive, but still had a science program or an arts program, those were great options. And when I went to Australia and I looked at the other Canadian dental students around me, I was amazed by where they came from and the degrees that they had. Some of them had arts degrees from Laurier. Some of them had, I think one person actually had an engineering degree from Brock or maybe York, one of those. But just they came from so many different backgrounds that you don't really need to have just a science degree. So if you can, try and do your prerequisites, which are only a couple of, sciencey things, but try and keep your options really, really wide to easier courses and easier undergrad programs, and not kind of get fixated on what are people going to say about me if I don't pick this really prestigious university or undergrad program. Doesn't matter what people are going to say about you. It only matters where you're going to get to school and what you're going to become. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, which kind of leads me to the next point. Stop worrying about what society is going to say, or what your friends will think, or what your family is going to say. I think when I was a teenager, and I'm sure maybe even in this day and age right now, what people think about us really, really matters to us. But it took me a long time to understand that people in this world are way too busy thinking about about themselves and what other people think about them, that they don't really care about you. Okay. They don't really care about what you're wearing. They don't care about what university you went to, what marks you got. No one cares. So please, do it for yourself, do it for your future, do everything you do because it makes you happy and because you see the long game. Don't worry so much about you going to a university that none of your friends went to, or you going to a university that some of your friends make fun of. It makes no difference, because at the end of the day, you guys will end up with a degree and no one's going to ask you where you went to undergrad. People are just going to ask you what you became. Okay. Focus on that. The next thing is never say no to an opportunity. Now, this is hard because this is something that I wish I knew as a 19-year-old. I was a little bit of a bookworm, but not really so much in my early days of undergrad, but maybe near the end of my undergrad degree, because I really needed to bring my marks up. But I always say, try not to say no to any opportunities. You don't know who you're going to meet, where you're going to meet them, and what opportunities they will open for you. Austrac was something that I never knew about as a 19-year-old. You guys are already ahead of the game, the fact that you already know about Austrac. But I never knew about Australian dental schools. I never knew about Austrac. I just randomly remember attending an event one day with one of my friends, and someone had said that their sibling was in Australia and they had somehow gotten in through Austrac. And I was like, whoa, Australia? I didn't know this was a thing. And I would have never known about Australia or Austrac had I not gone to this event. And I remember having an exam the next day and thinking, oh, I shouldn't go, but I did, and it changed the rest of my life. So try your best to say yes to events, go and enjoy yourself. Don't just hide in a room all day on your computer, pretending to study for 12 hours a day. We all know that you really can't, but I remember being in your shoes and, constantly telling my family and my friends, like, oh, I'm studying, just leave me alone. I need to study. I have an exam. I have a test. But you physically, as a human, cannot study for that long. So please have a schedule for yourself. Make a study schedule, study for those hours, and then enjoy the rest of your day. I really, really wish someone would have told me this, because the friendships you make as a teenager are the friendships you're going to have for the rest of your life. The friends you make as an adult are really not going to be the same. So please have a life outside of just studying. I know I keep saying this in this presentation, but I really wish someone would have told me when I was a teenager. So have fun, study, but also have fun. The next point that I'm going to say is it's a tough pill to swallow. Luck will play a part in your overall success. Okay, so you will look around you sometimes and you will say, this person next to me hasn't put in half of the effort that I have. And they got a better score on their test. They got into dental school, or they got into med school. I don't know how they did it. They must have just gone lucky. Okay, so I hear this a lot. And I hear this even now. I hear this from coming out of adults' mouths. I hear this coming out of kids' mouths. I hear the word "they got lucky" from a lot of people. And I consider myself this, like, I feel like I also got lucky. I would have never ended up as a dentist and been in this position that I am today if I didn't get lucky. So I always say to people, you can actually increase your chances of getting lucky. Okay, so if you go out and you constantly hustle every day, so if you put out a study schedule and if you've made the effort to go and network as much as you can with people in the community, volunteer, give back, help healthcare professionals, connect with them, if you've done all of these things, I can almost guarantee you that someone somewhere will notice you and you will also get lucky. Okay, sitting in a bedroom all day on your phone and saying, I'm just going to study and I'm going to try and get a 90 on this test because I'm going to study for 12 hours a day. Sure, you might get it, but you're not really increasing your chances of getting lucky. So put yourself out there as much as you can, make connections, because I guarantee you, in the world that we live in today, who you know matters more than what you know. So if you can find people who will connect you to the right people and get you to the right places, that is the best way to get to where you want to go. Knowledge is great, but sometimes the person who knows another person in that job role will probably get the job before you, even if you have the best marks in the world. So please connect with people, increase your chances of getting lucky, and do it just by getting out and about, getting out of your pajamas and just going out into the world and making connections, okay? This leads me to the next point. Try and help as many people as you can in your life, in general, in your classroom, outside of your classroom, at home, with your friends, with your colleagues. Anywhere you go, try and help as many people as you can. I always try and do it unconditionally, which means you expect nothing in return. And I found that this is the best way to learn teamwork. We live in a world right now where you're going to go through school and you're going to learn how to, I guess you can say, study for exams and tests by yourself, give all these tests and exams by yourself, and then you're going to become a dentist or you're going to become a healthcare professional, and then you're going to finish, and then it's all about teamwork, because you're not going to do everything by yourself anymore. Even though school has taught you to work individually and just care about yourself and work as an individual, the real world is actually very different. The real world is all about working as a team and helping others and not being competitive and not being just to yourself. So learn all of these traits now, because they're only going to help you be a better person and a better healthcare provider in the future. I'm sure you might know a few people in your class, even right now, or maybe in previous years, where they were very, very smart people in the classroom, but they were hogging all the knowledge to themselves. They didn't like helping people. They kept all the notes that they would write to themselves. They never liked sharing. And it's fine. I mean, those people will maybe get somewhere in life, but I can guarantee you that there will come a point in their life where they'll have to learn how to actually work as a team, and they'll really struggle. They'll actually genuinely struggle. And a lot of people around them won't actually like them. And if people around you don't like you, it's really hard to work as a team. So I would say, if you can, if you're one of those people, please just start sharing your knowledge, try and help as many people as you can. And I guarantee you, someone somewhere in this world will see how giving and generous you are, and you will get rewarded with good karma. So if there's one thing you take away from this, if there's one thing you apply into your life after this presentation, please go and apply this little point: is help as many people as you can around you.